wanted to talk a little bit about some of the main differences between the leaves of a tree, and if you know some of those differences, it may help you in trying to identify the identity of a tree that you don't know. So first of all, one of the main differences is the leaf structure. Now the one I'm holding here, this is what's called a simple leaf, and this one is known as a compound leaf. The reason we call that, this is one leaf off of the tree. It has the little stem that attaches to the node on the tree. It's called the petiole. So you've got, on this particular one, you've got some lobes along here and sinuses, these little indentations here. So this is a simple leaf. It's actually from a white oak. And this one is what we call a compound leaf. Now you're wondering, how many leaves am I holding? Am I holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves? No, I'm holding one leaf, but we know that because this is the petiole and this is where it attaches to the plant. But it has 5 leaflets on here, but this is all part of one leaf. So in other words, when this drops off in the fall, this is where it breaks away from the plant. So this is off of a hickory, and the hickories have compound leaves like this one. This is kind of a large compound leaf here. But so that's the main difference between some of the broadleaf plants like the hickories and the oaks. But I wanted to show you this plant. Now this one has, if I look here, I can actually take a leaf off of here. It looks like it may be compound, but they're actually attaching on the stem here. So I'm going to take that off right there. So that's an example of a simple leaf. We say that the margin of the leaf is entire because it doesn't have sinuses and lobes. You can see that it doesn't have any teeth along the edge, so we have an entire margin on a simple leaf. This one is actually one of those where if you crush it and smell it, you get a very distinct odor. This is actually from, this plant is called pawpaw. Pawpaw is in the family with tropical plants, and this is the only example of, we've got 2 different types of pawpaws. We've got this one that grows down near the river, and in drier areas there's a dwarf pawpaw that you might also see. There was a song many years ago talking about way down yonder in the pawpaw patch, picking up pawpaws, putting them in a basket. Has a very distinctively flavored fruit that ripens in the early fall, and if you're lucky enough to find one that a raccoon or a possum or something like that hadn't already grabbed, you might get to experience a very unique flavor on a fruit. So let's walk along a little bit further and see what else we can find. So this plant is one that you probably want to avoid, and there's a good bit of it here in this park, but this is poison ivy, and a lot of people can get a bad rash from contact dermatitis from the oils that are present. But if we can get a look at it, we'll notice that we talked earlier about compound leaves and the fact that this is the petiole, and you've got 3 leaflets, and that's what actually attaches to the stem of the plant. So we know this is a compound leaf, and you probably heard the old saying, leaves of 3, let it be. So there you go, but you know that you're avoiding a compound leaf with 3 leaflets.